what triggered this painting is it's the massacre at the Twin Towers, the destruction of the buildings. It was a horrific event. So that was in my mind for quite some time. And then the war in Iraq, I was working on a few pieces on that inhumane war. And this painting was accumulation. That goes back to my first visit to New York. I believe it was maybe 76. And I fell in love with these two structures. And I wrote a poem, I remember, at one point in New York, maybe later, some years after. I wrote a poem, I call it The Two Lovers. And before the event of the Twin Towers in 2001, maybe about like a few months before, I worked on some pieces, and they have the two elongated shapes, and they are taken from the Twin Towers, and I call them the twins.
In the next 2 years, you were still processing?
Yes, until now. Now we are 2019 and I'm still processing this.
Yeah.
You know how, and in these two buildings, a great deal of innocent people get killed from all nationalities, religions. It was indiscriminating attack. I understand the politics of it. I understand what led to the destruction of the Twin Towers. But it was unfortunate.
You won't call it beautiful, but it's a strong painting. And maybe that's the beauty of it.
I mean, you could find beauty in everywhere. I mean, if you look at the atomic bomb explosion, it's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are footage of the testing.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing, it's beautiful. It's extremely destructive. You know, from all that pain and misery, there is beauty is always there. But here the goal is it's not to create beauty. The beauty by itself exists. The intention here is not in this painting, In the Full World. It was not the intention to create something beautiful. I didn't worry about beauty. I was very much trying to kind of have this affinity and to be very close to what happened.
Albert Boime, the art historian, wrote, Benoh insists on salvaging it by reclaiming it's symbolically in a creative act, referring to the world of chaos and agony.
The horrible images when I woke up in the morning and saw these images, people falling, smoke and fire, and it's the whole event. That's why also that's why I called it End of a World. And there are some people misunderstood the title's name by the end of the world, you know, like the religious anticipation of the end of the world. Well, I didn't think of that. But end of a world, which means in this country, in the United States, we were living kind of fairy tale life. You know, wars are taking place everywhere in the world. The war in Iraq and other wars and many other wars going on. But destruction of the Twin Towers shook everybody. And I called it End of a World. That time has ended. And a new time has taken place. It's an attempt to re-establish that security, sense of security, you know. So when he said salvage, you know, which is true, it's like after a war or after a destruction, the first thing human beings start doing is trying to salvage you know, what is left. So basically is to try to put together a system that we have grown to understand and live within, that makes us feel secure. And probably painting is one of them, maybe. But it could be on a larger scale painting, because it's really true that you dig into your heart. And it is a painful process, painting. It's a way to recollect and put pieces together and make that shape, that form functional again. It is attached to material world and attached to memories and attached to many other things.
After destruction, we want to rebuild. You touch on that world of feeling secure is gone, and yet you give back something for people.
Well, it's very much for me. And of course, if it's for me, then it's for everyone else. I'm the product of society or societies. Of course, I have made some efforts to claim certain things, you know, but it's for everyone. Definitely, this painting is going to outlast me. Of course, if it's not going to be destructed, you know, destroyed, but it's going to be there. And it could be rolled until completely disintegrate, or somebody might have appreciation for it and show it. But that's not my job. My job is to look for those unseen and put them out so people could see them. You know, this painting was invisible before. The material the color, everything, it was invisible. Now it's visible. That's my job. I really believe there is a job for an artist. Like everyone has a job. Everyone has a job. And my job is to make things seen. Bring them out.